Are you lacking in confidence? Well, today I'm going to talk about how the power of a challenge may be able to shape that for you. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then. Now, I was thinking about this the other day as I'm going through something called 75 Hard. It's a challenge that involves you to exercise twice a day for 45 minutes, to drink a gallon of water a day, to have no junk food. You can turn that out, you can choose whatever that is for you, to have no alcohol, and 10 minutes a day of like reading or personal growth or listening or something like that, which I love doing anyway. So that's pretty easy. And I realized the more days I ticked off, the more confidence and trust I was building in myself because I was doing the challenge. So I really wanted to make a really quite, it's going to be quite a short episode today. But I wanted to talk about this because even in challenging times, going through like doing a challenge, going through a certain routine you've got to do for a certain period can really, really help. And I'm currently running one as well. And I've run challenges in the past, and people say, yeah, it's really helped to create momentum, even when times are hard in my life. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that because confidence, once again, is the trust you have in yourself. And when you don't do something you say you're going to do, you lose that trust a little bit. So if you can create a system or a challenge rather that's going to build you confidence because you're taking the actions, and that's going to be great. So how is it helping you by not doing what you say you're going to do? Because for me, that really knocks my confidence. And sometimes we can set ourselves a really, really hard, too much too soon, right? And then we don't do it and then we lose confidence. So sometimes you have to learn a little bit. You're like, okay, maybe that was a bit too much. Honestly, for yourself, if you're really honest with yourself, you can tell if some things may be way, way, way too hard, or perhaps it is a little bit ambitious. You just perhaps weren't putting as much effort in as you could have potentially done. And I'll give you an example. I was I'm sort of visiting the family at the moment, so I was in the gym the other day, and I was running, and I thought it was kilometers an hour, and it was 10. I thought I was running just gently 10 kilometers an hour. I'm quite a quick runner as well. I do a lot of fitness, but it was actually 10 miles per hour, and I realized that I tuned into it. And I was running between 9 and 10, and I found I couldn't complete it as hard as I tried. And that's okay. So next time I did it, I lowered the targets, and I was still sweating, I was still struggling, but it was something I could do. So honestly, you should be able to tell with yourself, if you're honest with yourself, if some things maybe you push the limit too much, or perhaps it's a little bit of a stretch, because when we can stretch ourselves, that's when growth happens. So let's go through some practical steps of how you can start getting into a challenge or some kind of accountability thing that builds your confidence in yourself. Well, first of all, you have to decide right now. You have to decide right in this moment, not tomorrow, unless obviously you're listening to this as you're going to bed. Definitely not the day after. You've got to decide right now and start action immediately. Don't put it off. Don't listen to me and go, oh, that was inspiring from Johnny. Oh, maybe I'll action it later. No, you've got to action it immediately. I don't mean you have to start the challenge right now. I mean, you've got to do something towards it. As Tony Robbins said, never leave the site of the decision without taking immediate, I said that word multiple times, action towards it. Not thinking about it, not putting it off, not saying I'm going to do it later, but I'm excited, because the majority of people will not do it. All right. I don't want you to be one of them. So if you go, right, I'm going to go on a challenge for maybe it's a month, and you're like, not going to drink alcohol. Maybe it's a month and you go, I'm going to exercise for 20 minutes every day. Maybe you don't exercise as much. Maybe you say, I'm going to go for a long walk every day. Maybe it's avoiding a certain food. Great, fantastic. Pick something that's going to be ambitious, but you can do. Also, if you're like thinking, okay, I'm going to do all these good habits and all these bad habits. Side notes, sorry, do these bad habits. We do bad habits. You say you're going to do all good habits and get rid of a load of bad habits. don't overwhelm yourself because your brain, it takes a while to start changing. And if you put too much on it at once, it will get exhausted and likely give up if you're trying to change too many things. So, don't overload yourself. So immediately pick something you want to do a challenge on and tell someone. You can, what I like to do is post on that on social media every single day. If you're following me on social media, you'll see me posting my progress pictures, getting more and more into shape, and that's giving me accountability, sharing what I'm doing. Right. So that's one thing you can do. You can announce it. You can tell someone you trust, say, right, I'm going to start day one, depending what day it is. Maybe it's like if you go to bed right now, obviously it's tomorrow, but at least tell someone right now in this moment that you're going to do this and let them hold you accountable. The second thing I want to emphasize is make it ambitious but realistic. So I want you to push yourself a little bit, something that's going to be a little bit out of reach, but it's not completely unrealistic. So it's not like I kind of touched on this already, but I want to expand on it a little bit as the second point. So the first one's commit, just to be clear. I'll summarize these all for you as well. The second one is make it ambitious but realistic. So if you don't run and you're like, look, I really want to get into running, and I'm just going to run. Well, actually, let's say it's exercise, because maybe running every day would be a bit extreme if you don't run. But let's say it's exercise and you hardly ever exercise apart from walking certain places. If you're like, okay, for 30 days in a row, I'm going to exercise for 1 to 2 hours a day or 2 hours a day, that's, whilst it's not impossible, it's highly, highly not sustainable if you don't exercise right now. Maybe for a few days you do it and then you stop. So you'd be better off doing something like 30 minutes of exercise a day, like cardio, weights, and go to gym classes. Those are really, really good. Maybe it's like you go to 3 gym classes a week, you do 2 cardio sessions, 2 weight sessions, and the gym classes are a mix. Make it ambitious but realistic. Make it fun as well, because you're more likely to stick to it. The third one, be accountable daily. So touch on this again. This can be like posting it on social media. It could be telling someone. It could be checking in. I have an accountability partner. I also check in on social media, so I'm updating people on my 75 hard as well. So that's the third, and that's what keeps me going with it really, really strongly. The fourth one, praise. Praise yourself when you do it every single day. As simple as it sounds. I bag on about this all the time, but you need to praise yourself, because when you praise yourself, you feel good, you release feel good chemicals in the body, and your nervous system tells you to do more of it. So to summarize those steps again, like I said I would, the first one is decide what challenge you're going to do, and then tell someone right now. Successful people make decisions very quickly and act on them very, very quickly. So don't be like, I'll think about it, because that's not a way to move forward. The second one is make it ambitious but realistic. The third one is be accountable every single day. The fourth one is praise yourself as you're doing it, because you're going to encourage yourself to do more of it. Also, when you do it, another little thing you can do for praising, celebrating as you're going through, is having like a chart. So this is my special bonus point at the end. So you can have a chart. You can have like a chart, some boxes on the wall, and then you're ticking all the days off you're doing. And don't look at it like you're counting down and then this is going to be over then. Look forward to like ticking the boxes off, celebrating, getting it started, because that'll show you how much progress you've made so far. And that will remind your brain again to keep doing more of it. So I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives of being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.